experience did you have?
Oh, I started not very long when my youngest was a baby. I went to art school, and that's when I started writing. So about 10, I think they had the first thing published just over 10 years ago, 11 years ago. But I tend to write very light-hearted, kind of social, kind of, what's it, lifestyle pieces, nothing very heavy. And I do a lot of food and, yeah, food-related stories. Because I used to write about food. Well, I still do, but I used to be a restaurant critic.
You cook.
Yeah, and I cook, yeah.
I haven't read the book because I've been away, but somebody that had read it said it seemed to be in pieces.
In two halves.
Do you think that is partly to do with your past 800-word articles that you've been doing?
No, I think it's more in two halves. It's you've got the slow half and then the fast half. I think. But I don't know about pieces. I wouldn't have thought so. And anyway, in a way, you've got to be able to. Writing in 800-word slots isn't actually a bad thing for a book, because you have to have rests. You know, it's not one long monologue where you never take a breath.
When you wrote it, did you plan it all out?
No, I didn't.
Not at all?
Not at all. Just sat down and thought, I'll slot that bit in there and I'll slot that bit in here. And then I had to go and rejig it a bit afterwards, especially the chronology. I mean, it's set 10 years in the past.
I thought you did that extremely well. I didn't feel like, where am I now? And I thought it did well.
But yeah, I'd got things like the music and everything all wrong, because I did set it 10 years in the past because it was really important that there was no internet, because if you could just go and look her up on the internet, then the story that she was trying to hide from just falls down. But 10 years ago, everything wasn't on the internet. And so, you know, things like, you know, the music, things that she would have been dancing to when she was young, well, I'd got them completely wrong. And the copy editing is a very painful process, because it's like having it sent off as for an essay and somebody sends it back with tick, 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 or more red cross, red cross, red cross. And, oh no, Turkish carpet doesn't look like this. And, oh, well, you wouldn't be dancing to that. And, oh, well, you know, the decimalization. And I felt like a child who had just been marked down for everything. Didn't like that, so. Next time I write a book, I'll be very much more. I have actually in the next one got a chronology with all the dates in place, so that I know I won't make that kind of mistake again. Anyway, but so that's about it.
How did you feel when you said at the beginning you sent your book off a number of times? How did you feel when you kept getting that no?
Well, that's why you have an agent. You don't know about the rejections. The agent knows about the rejections, and it's. She told me when she sent it out to the 16 people. She said nobody likes it. I don't understand why, because I think it's great. But could you just take out the dark element and make it a straightforward, like a romantic story, which I did. But it's soul destroying. I mean, but now I work in a publishing company and I can see it from the other side. And it shouldn't be soul destroying, because it's just a book. I mean, a lot of effort goes into it, but it's just a book. It's just like going to the supermarket and somebody buys Tesco coffee and somebody buys, you know, fair trade, and somebody buys, you know, Nescafe. You know, it's a question of taste and luck, really.
I suppose though, as a writer, you feel it's part of you, don't you? As your book is
it becomes increasingly less part of you as the process goes on. It's yours when you write it. And when I was writing it, I liked it. You know, I was in a different world, and even though she's a bit of a crazy character, I liked her. You know, in a mad way, I liked her, and I missed her when I stopped writing. But when it starts to go through the whole publishing process, you lose it, and you get sick of it as well. So you're quite happy to lose it. you know, the editor has a go, the copy editor has a go, you don't, somebody else, unless you're very famous, you don't get a choice of the cover, you know, somebody else chooses that. You don't write the cover copy, somebody else does that. You don't even get to decide necessarily on the way the book unfolds, because the editor has their own ideas on that. And everything my editor asked me to do, I did, including there's going to be an American version, and the American version has a happy ending. The American version, they wanted resolution, they didn't want it to end just like that. And I thought, what do I do? American market versus, oh no, this is my ending. I changed it. And so, you know,
with your ending, potentially she can come back.
yes.
You haven't put a big full stop.
No, but they actually wanted it spelled out with the.
Oh, they need it.
Yeah.
It's all to do with IQ.
They didn't like the ambiguity. They wanted it to be, you know, spelled out and everything finished. So there's another little chapter afterwards where she goes back and explains herself.
I think that's a real shame.
I do too, but you know.
Yeah, I enjoyed the ambiguity. I thought it made a pleasant change from trying to, you know, sort of complete everything and, you know, give someone a package finished, you know. This left you to make your own decision about whether she would or whether she wouldn't.
Well, you know, and anyway, there's no such thing as an ending, really.
No.
You know, every ending is just another beginning, so I don't know. I felt it was much better to just leave it there.
Because she'd got so many things unresolved in herself, hadn't she? You know that.
Yeah.
You know, there were so many things going on in her life, her psyche, whatever. That, you know, a nice neat ending didn't suit her because she
No.
wasn't a nice neat person.
No, she certainly wasn't. Not nice and not neat. Good at housework, though.
Oh, very good. I envied her ability to get a job. She seemed to be able to get a job anyway.
I don't know that the housework as a therapy is certainly something that I don't share. Would come in very handy if I did.
Do you feel pressured now that you've got to write another one? Is it
Yeah,
worse than
very
writing the first one?
I do feel pressured, and the first one I kind of tossed it off in a way. You know, it was. It was easy, but it wasn't a big stretch, and there was nothing to live up to. And now I do feel I've got something to live up to. And furthermore, I've written half a book. I've written half the book that I lost before. I've rewritten it in a different vein. And then when everything in my own life changed, I felt the bit of the book that I'd written wasn't the book that I wanted to write anymore, because I've changed as well. So I just feel a bit stuck. So that's why I started writing something that was funny instead, which is totally different. And just a kind of funny take on being 50. I think there are funny things about it. I mean.